Good afternoon and namaste to all the lovely teachers who have joined us today for a beautiful new segment of Tea Club. Tea Club, we began a few months earlier when we thought that E-Club, that is a club that we had exclusively for children, had such a wonderful response. We did not want to limit ourselves to this, and we came up with this new idea, this new platform for teachers where they can learn and share and grow together. Today, our segment is going to be on two things. First is computers, and second is coding. Well, I can say twin sisters, computers and coding, they go hand in hand. And the success story of Tea Club. We began a few days before and we've had sessions for different subjects, core subjects. We had today also we have parallelly one session on English, and earlier we had session on art, we had session on math, we had a session of science. And one thing that comes across is that teachers do get a lot of training. They do get training in their core subjects. But there are subjects that are sometimes neglected or overlooked, are thought that they are not so important. If you talk about NEP, NEP also gives a lot of importance to the new age learning. And what is new age learning without prioritizing computers, digital media? Today, even our interaction is on a digital platform. Sheetal Sheth is an educator for computers and IT expert par excellence. She's been here for many years, more than a decade, and she teaches and heads an international school. She has experience in vivid boards and is also a content creator. With warm regards and lots of love, I would like to welcome Sheetal Sheth for our segment first, that is on computers.
Thank you, Darshana, for your kind words and giving me this platform and making me part of the Tea Club. Hello, friends. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. So, I am here today to share my knowledge and experiences that I have gained in the field of education so far in my journey. Let's be the change. When I'm talking about the change, the thing which is coming to my mind right now is the recent pandemic crisis. During that 2 years, everything came to standstill. There was a big question mark on the functioning of the majority of the industries. But schools did not stop. And I say this with immense pride as a teacher that thanks to all of us, kudos to all each and every teacher who took up this challenge and overnight shifted from offline to online module and they adjusted this change, adapted this change very beautifully. As rightly quoted by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. We all know that the future jobs, the future education also, and the future occupations will require problem solvers, critical thinkers, and communicators. And if we want our children to have all these skills developed in their personality, we need to inculcate all these skill sets in today present time teaching learning process. Being 21st century learners and these children have grown up using the technology around them, right from smartphones, smart televisions, iPads, earpods, and the list goes on. So they have innate ability to learn the technology. So it's a very positive and good thing for computer science teachers being technology teachers. Their interest and curiosity for the subject is already there. What we need to do is we just need to adapt few modern techniques in our teaching process to culminate that in their learning and their development in future. So friends, today I'm here to share some strategies and procedures that has worked in my classroom with my students. I'm sure you will have something to take away. There are three techniques I'm going to share with you today. The first one being virtual thinking routine. Friends, these virtual thinking routines are the thinking routines which helps to develop the critical thinking into the children. Their critical thinking and problem solving abilities will develop. If you will go online, there are many ready customized virtual thinking routine templates available. The one I'm going to share here today with you all is I see, I think, I wonder. In this type of a thinking routine, we show one image to the children. We ask them to observe the image. The image that we choose is very important here. That should lead to think to children, like that should open their mind towards the questions and what the picture is trying to talk about. After showing the picture, we give them template to fill. As you see on the screen right now, the first column they write down what I see is like what they observed about that picture. Then second column they write down think, what they thought, the thoughts that came to their mind when they were observing that image. And the last one, they will list down all the questions that came to their mind when they were observing this picture. So that's why I said it will help them to organize their thinking. So you are leading them to think. Being modern modern educators, we don't teach them what to think, but we guide them how to think. Okay, the example here I'm going to share is, can you see the image? It shows the transformation of television from the past years till today. So the first we had black and white televisions which were very big in sizes, and slowly they became compact, the color televisions, and today we are using the LEDs and LCDs with the best of the picture qualities and images. Now after this you can ask children to share their feedback, what they have written in their template, and it will lead your classroom to the beautiful discussion. And once they understand this, that how televisions have transformed and evolved, similarly computers have also evolved from the past, and then you can introduce the generation of computers. This beautiful analogy will help them to understand the concept very beautifully. The second strategy that here I'm going to share is the application based teaching. Friends, when we were students, we always had this question when anything new we were learning, that why am I learning this and where in the future I'm going to use this. Okay, so when in application based teaching, before introducing the concept, when we tell them, when we put that concept very transparently, that these are the uses of these skills that we are learning, it helps them to connect better. Now here, for example, I'm sharing with you the two documents that that has been created in the Word, and you can see the text has been formatted in both the documents in different way. The first one is showing in the paragraph form, whereas the next one it is showing in the column format. Then you can ask them what is the difference they observed. Then you can ask them that where do you see this in real life? Where do you see this different types of formatting of the text in real life? And you will get many answers like newspapers and magazines, and you will lead them to think, and their questions and their minds are clear that why are they learning this concept. And then you can discuss the steps from your textbook, that how the page setting is done for both the types of formatting. And I'm sure they'll be able to relate and connect in a better way, and their understanding which we will be very clear. Okay, the third strategy that I'm going to share with you all is a flipped classroom. Friends, when we are talking about the traditional classroom, what we do is we first teach the lesson, teach the concept, and then we give them home assignment. Now, when we are talking about the flipped classroom, we give them something to prepare at home first. Say, example, when you are working on the pros, advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence. You are discussing artificial intelligence in the class. So you can ask them to read the lesson. You can share a few links, online links, where they can research and find out more about the artificial intelligence. Then you can divide the class into two groups and you can conduct a debate on advantages and disadvantages of using artificial intelligence. I'm sure this will leave your class in a buzzing mode, but that would be, I'm sure it will be a positive noise you will hear. Friends, when we learn with pleasure, we never forget. So if their children are in happy mode, if they are interested in the learning, if there is fun, they are enjoying what they are learning, I'm sure it will help them to retain whatever they are learning. So making your lessons fun and interesting. Here I'm going to share, I'm sure that few of the techniques which I'm sharing here, you all must be using already in the classroom, and few you may find it new. The first one I'm talking about is playing quiz with two links I'm going to share here is Kahoot and Quizzes. These are, friends, online platforms where there are umpteen numbers of ready quizzes available on different topics. All you need to do is you can just go on the link, you share the link with the children and they play the quiz and Kahoot. You know children love playing quizzes and Kahoots. Once they finish the playing Kahoot and quizzes, at the end, you will get the detailed report which you can download in the form of Excel. It will give you entire report of each child as how many questions were correct, how many questions were wrong, and you can use all this data for your formative assessment without the burden of creating the paper or putting efforts to create the paper, doing paper corrections. Without any pen or paper, your formative assessment is done. Online games. Children, I'm sure, friends, I'm sure that you all are already using many online platforms and games in your practical sessions. The only thing I would suggest here is whenever you are giving them any game to play, before that, you can collaborate with their other teachers, say example, math teachers, and when they are doing addition, subtraction or multiplication or division, any mathematical operations in their class. Similarly, during that week, if you give them similar like based concepts for the games, it's suppose they are doing addition, the same week you are giving them the practice on keyboard for the addition using Tux Math or any other gaming platform. That will help children not only to revise and practice, it will help them to retain the concept. And your other subject is also integrated beautifully because they are not only practicing keyboard, but they are also practicing their math. Planning activities. Here I would like to share, activities does not mean computers has to be done only using computers and digital platforms. You can plan different art and craft activities like involve children in beautifying your computer lab. Let them put some charts, let them make some charts in the classroom. Say example, do's and don'ts of the computer, rules of the computer lab, different shortcut keys. Then you can talk about the cyber rules, cyber safety rules. You can make them, help them to make the charts on these topics, and children love doing these activities. When I'm talking about the teamwork is very, very important to build their social and emotional skills. Field trip, whenever they are going out on the field trip, please bring to their notice that at the different places how the computers are used. So take each and every opportunity which you find during your picnic sessions or during the other field trips, help them to understand the world, the technology around them. Guest speaker sessions. When I'm talking about the guest speakers, friends, it is very interesting. You can involve parent body in their learning process. You can invite any parents guest if you are doing example hardware and software, or you are doing the chapter on cyber safety. You can invite any officer from the cyber safety uh, cell, and they are more than happy to come. And the only thing you need to do is beforehand just help your children to prepare the questionnaire, what sort of questions they need to ask, and what they are looking for, the objectives of the lesson. and children will have a discussion with the guest speaker, with the expert in that particular field, and they will get the first hand information from the person, and they will be so much involved and they will love doing this. And later you can ask them to organize their work and discuss in the classroom. Exhibitions, friend, when we are talking about the exhibitions, it is always a science exhibition we talk, but don't forget, friends, that when I'm talking about computer science is collaboration of mathematics and science. So please take part in these exhibitions and make computer science also a part of exhibition. You just give them the topics and children prepare beautiful projects on computer science as well. They can prepare the websites using their HTML knowledge, presentations, and so on. Friends, I'm going to share some digital and technical resources that has worked and I explored during the online scenario. But I end up using it till today in my classrooms, because that makes my classroom very fun and interesting for children, and also makes my life really easy. So the first one here I'm talking about is a live worksheet. Live worksheet, again, it's a digital platform where you will find so many ready available live worksheets for children to solve on different topics. All you need to do is, as per your requirement, you select the worksheet to be solved, share the link with the children. Children can solve that worksheet online. After they finish solving the worksheet, there is one finish button given down. As soon as they click on this button, they will get the two options: uh, correct my worksheet and email my worksheet to the teachers. Friends, if you have created your account on this platform, liveworksheet.com, they can also email their worksheets, solved worksheets to you. Or if they select the other option, correct my worksheet, once they click on correct my worksheet, it will get auto corrected and it will show you the score. And all you need to do is just copy that score as per the corresponding students. And again, you can use it as your formative assessment without any pen paper. This is a very interesting thing I came across, friends. It's called virtual tour. When you will type online, there are many virtual tour sites available for the computer museums. So when you are doing the topic on the history of the computers, they have all the variety and all the different computers, right from supercomputers, mainframe computers, microcomputers, and till today, all the computers. And you can enter each room virtually and it displays all the information along with it. And I'm telling you, friends, your students going to love this, and it's going to be a different aspect and different way of learning the same thing what you are doing right now. And you will have fun when they are exploring this, each and every room with a different classrooms having a different types of computer. YouTube, you can on and often show the recent updates on the technology through YouTube and keep them updated about how the field is growing each day. What are the new advancements in the technology field coming up? Okay, now these are the read aloud books. If you will go online on YouTube also, you will type computer science related read aloud books. Now friends, you can integrate. When we are talking about the reading books, we only think about the English subject, but it's not the case. You can include this beautiful read aloud books in your classroom, which are based, and the topic is on computer science. So here, along with their English, you are also they are also getting the knowledge of the computers, and they will love reading these books. Okay, these are the few quotes from the experts in the field which I would like to share with you all. Let's go invent tomorrow instead of worrying about what happened yesterday. Technology has become the wings that will allow the educational world to fly farther and faster than ever before, if we will allow. So It is we who need to take up the technology in our classrooms, in our teaching and learning processes. We need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand, because it is the pen and paper of our time, and it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. Friends, we all know that how much these 21st century children know and learn the technology, because and they have that innate ability to learn technology. They are so curious that they learn on their own. We don't need to teach them each and every technology or the new apps that are coming. That is because they have innate ability to learn any new technology. They are curious about it, and we can use that interest for our teaching process by including this technology and making this technology part of our teaching process. Okay, friends, you must be wondering, there are so many things to take care of, like application based learning, the today's way of teaching, and what not to do. And I know your plate is already full of so many things you all are already doing in the school, but I'm so happy to share with you all that you do this QR code Firefly computer science book series which they have created has all these things that I have discussed with you today in one package. The most of the things you will find in this book, you don't need to go anywhere. If you will explore these books, you will get to know that all the features which we discuss right now, which are needed in our 21st century teaching learning process, which changes which we need to adapt, this is beautifully integrated in this series of books. Be it application based learning, be it real life examples, integration of different subjects, sharing the current advancements in the field of the technology, all these things are included in this book very beautifully.
Sheetal, I have been all ears to you, and so beautifully you have taken this session in a very crisp manner. And in one line, if I want to just sum up this whole thing in one sentence, it is like everything is there in the book. You need to explore it. And don't limit yourself as a computer teacher in your lab and into your sessions. There is a world beyond to go and explore.
Completely.
I had one question to ask. Nowadays, we talk about digital learning, new age learning, and all these NEP guidelines. And there is this one word which keeps on hammering all the time: coding. What is coding? Is it different from computers, or it is computers, or what it is? Can you just explain me in layman language?
Yes, in simple words to start with, I would say that they are two sides of the same coin. Computer science and coding are very much similar. When computer science is dealing with what each part does, the functionality of each part, how what each part in the computer does, and how the apps, what are the apps, what is the hardware, what is software. Whereas coding will teach you how it does, how that app is developed, how what is the function of that develop, how it is made. In today's time, we come across this term very often, app development. So app development is nothing but there is integration of coding into it.
So, do you think that as we say computers is most essential, जैसे हम अभी बोलते हैं ना कि रोटी कपड़ा मकान, and yes, a laptop and a computer with connection.
Yes.
Do you think coding is also as essential and as important right now? And is it the right time to start it and introduce it to the children?
Yes, very much. As I said when I started, I discussed that future jobs are all going to be technology based. There'll be technology is growing around us. Okay, for everything, if you see right from the getting up in the morning, when you get up, your alarm rings. There is an app till you order the food, you want to contact your doctor, you want to travel somewhere, everywhere you are using the app, and how these apps are made. So that coding is the need of the hour.
Thank you so much, Sheetal. Thank you for a brilliant session. Thank you for segment one. And as promised, now we move on to segment two.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you for making me part of this beautiful evening, and thank you so
This
much.
doesn't end here. You have to leave us with a promise that you're going to come back and you're going to train the teachers again and again. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We're coming back in the second segment just in a few minutes from now on coding. Welcome to segment two. And in segment two, I'm proud to invite none other than Reema Deshkar. Reema Deshkar is an academician and an expert in her field. Coding is her language. Coding is her passion, and she is best when she teaches this to the young children and their teachers. Reema is here to explain us how to go about coding. What is coding? How is it going to be taught? Is it important? How important it is? And I'm sure she's going to address all the questions that are in your mind right now as computer teachers. Warm welcome to none other than Reema Deshkar.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Darshana ma'am. Thank you, Sangeeta, for actually laying the stage. Okay, so I'm here to just add in my few you can say props to make you understand that yes, coding and computers go hand in hand, right? Now, before we talk about, and this is my segment two. This is our segment two. We are going to talk about coding and how we all can be a part of this, how we all can do this particular thing. We can all make applications, we can all learn how to code and teach to our children, right? Now, before I begin, most importantly, I feel is we have to be convinced that yes, coding is important, right? Very, very important. And how and why, all these things. So, my, what I have decided is I am going to help you get convinced that yes, we can do it. We can teach coding to our children, right? Yes. So this is a quest for coding. For me, it is like, I have to be a coder, right? And I have to teach my children how to code. Yes, so the famous Steve Jobs says that everybody should learn to program a computer because it teaches you how to think, right? So before we move on to our little, discussions, little, of course, not a discussion, I'll be speaking to you all. So before we move on to the bric-a-bracs of how coding is important, what all can we do, and how does it help our children, right? The future to get, digitally savvy, right? So I want to show a very small video, right?
Hi, everybody. This week, I'm proud to join the students, teachers, businesses, and nonprofit organizations taking big new steps to support computer science in America's schools. Learning these skills isn't just important for your future, it's important for our country's future. If we want America to stay on the cutting edge, we need young Americans like you to master the tools and technology that will change the way we do just about everything. That's why I'm asking you to get involved. Don't just buy a new video game, make one. Don't just download the latest app, help design it. Don't just play on your phone, program it. No one's born a computer scientist, but with a little hard work and some math and science, just about anyone can become one. This week is your chance to give it a shot. And don't let anyone tell you you can't. Whether you're a young man or a young woman, whether you live in a city or a rural area, computers are going to be a big part of your future. And if you're willing to work and study hard, that future is yours to shape. Thanks, everybody.
So are you all not inspired? when we have Mr. Barack speaking to the American citizens, right? Telling them that yes, we are using applications, we are dealing with technology, but it is so much of we are playing games on our mobiles, our computer. But it is so nice if it is like we make it and we own it and say that come on, let's play a game together, and this game is made by me. Let's use this application. This application idea is mine. So yes, it is the time that we are inspired, and how we implement this inspiration, how we get motivated, and we start with this new genre of how to teach coding, how coding is important to us. We have to understand that, right? Of course, Sangeeta ma'am also and Darshana ma'am has been talking about new age learning, right? The digital era has come, right? And we have understood very well during our COVID times that yes, whatever said and done, even though we tell our children, come on, keep the mobiles away, keep your laptop away, but there are so many important things there, right? Other than your playing game and wasting time, not wasting actually, whiling away time. There are so many important things, right? From when you wake up to in the night, when you put an alarm and you say that, the snoozing thing, how it has been developed. Everything is a part of technology. Okay. So why coding is important? Very importantly, the new age learning, the 21st century skills. We keep on harping on that yes, the 4 C's are very important. Now, how coding helps in inculcating those 4 skills? Creativity. I consider, being a coder myself, and always we have that impression, right? That on a black screen, we are just into our computers and coding. There is nothing beyond that. But let me tell you that creativity is one very important aspect if you know how to code. Because, like nobody, if I take an example of a food app like Zomato, so there is one person who decided, who thought, who created, or at least ideated that, yeah, I have to make something where food will be at my doorstep, right? So, which means there is a lot of creation which helps, right? Which helps in our future, of course. And coding helps in bringing those skills into us. Creativity, very, very important aspect of coding. Second is critical thinking. Okay, the next C I'm talking about is critical thinking. What is critical thinking? We've heard about thinking, and you all must be knowing what is critical thinking. Just, it's like my perspective that you have a problem, you have a solution to it, right? Now, how you think about something which is not the similar solution to it. Like, for example, if I know that I have to, when it is raining, I just need to pick up an umbrella and go and take off the umbrella and use it. Now, other than this solution, so my problem is it's raining outside. And what is my solution? That I take an umbrella and just go out. Other than this, is there anything else we can derive? Is there anything, any other solution? Which means I am putting my critical thinking caps on ourselves, which means I am thinking critically. Let me come up. Let me come up. It's a very common solution. Let me start thinking about something new. Now, coding is where you get that opportunity to do it. So you've written a code, okay, and you know that, okay, I have made an application. Somewhere you feel that, this application is very similar to, say, XYZ application. How can I make it a little better? How can I add finesse to it? Or how I can change the whole get up of it? Okay, I know that if I order food, it will take me to the payment gateway. Can I do something else to it? So I start thinking about a solution which is not the direct one. So this is critical thinking. Correct? Next is your collaboration. Collaboration. We talk about, in the class that, where we have a collaborative approach. We sit and we talk and, let's work in groups. And to be very honest, being a, part of this academic, part of this education sector, I feel group work works best. And not only that, the retentivity power, the retention of the knowledge which is given in the class stays best when you have a group work, because it's a mixed people. It's of course the group has to be made appropriately. That's also very important, and you all know it, that we don't group an average, all the average child in one group or all the above average child in the other. You all know it, how to make groups and work with them, right? So this whole collaboration, when you have a task, when in the class there is a task given to them, when there is, you can say, I give them a problem statement that, I want in my school an application which will actually help me understand or forecast, right, the, absentees for tomorrow if there is a cricket match on a late Friday evening or a late Thursday evening. Can you do something about it? Because I have to decide whether I'll be giving my formative assessments or not. So what did I do? I threw a problem statement on them that, come on, sit in groups, start discussing, come up with some idea. So which means collaboration. Together, you're sitting together and discussing and coming out with a solution. Not only that, you're collaborating with technology also. Coding is nothing but a language, right? You teach the language of the machine. So you are actually collaborating with the machine and coming up with a solution. So this is my third C, collaboration. The fourth C, communication. That's, what is coding all about. You're communicating with your machine. Initially, we thought that, as Sangeeta ma'am rightly said, that computer teaches you, this is my hand, this is my head, this is my cheek, this is my chin. It teaches you that, the hardware, the software, how the heart beats, right? The software, the hardware, it teaches you about that. What is my memory capacity, right? How my cerebrum and cerebellum works. It's like that. But coding helps you to understand what is happening inside my body, why I might faint if my carotid vein is not working, which means I'm communicating with my body through something, the blood flow, the oxygen flow. This can be compared to coding in a in a technology scenario where computer talks about the body and its bric-a-bracs, and coding is the communication thing. So coding is that. So the language we are going to talk, we are going to learn is communication, is how I'm communicating with my machine, right? So coding benefits, I think I have already spoken about on my first slide. Of course, it comes with a galore of, you can say, opportunities or benefits. Of course, the 21st century skill, you are at par with it. At least I won't say that learning coding in 1 year will give you, I have become a critical thinker. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be persistent, right? Secondly, it gives you a lot of resilience. I'll tell you, like it's my experience. Patience level has grown to a surmountable level. Initially, I always thought that I have to take help of meditation or this and that, but when I sit in front of my that black screen, I try to come up with a solution or crack a code or make something which I want, right? With the help of my coding language. I think a lot of patience is what I have got, lots. Okay, and resilience, that okay, say for example, I did a code, I have made a mistake in my code, to identify, to correct, and it might so happen second time also I make the same mistake. So that resilience, it also helps in building up a lot of resilience, and you can see it on the children when they start. Okay, uh, initial days it is like learning the language, but over the years when you tag that particular child, that how can I see his growth as a coder. You can see other than these aspects that you have become mathematically strong, you are scientifically bent, you are critically acclaimed. These life skills have, has put a giant leap ahead, right? So this is something we have to be very confident about. We have to, give them that bigger picture that, hello, your patience, look at the level of patience you have increased. Look, initially you couldn't sit in one place, always moving here and there, shaking your legs, fiddling with your hair, but now you're sitting right in front because my task is I have to come up with some solution to the problem, and the solution is what, coming up with an application, coming up with a game which my teacher has given, and I'm doing it sitting in one place, right? So it gives you a lot of patience, resilience, all the life skills, right? Creativity, lot of creativity, as I have already spoken about that. Lot of creativity, and another very important life skill I would or you can say a moral booster to everyone is building your confidence. So what happens is I'm a coder. I'm a very new coder. I've just learned the basics. Okay, I know how to code with Scratch language. I know how to code with QBasic. But QBasic, of course, it's a little higher. And you can see if I say a Scratch language, right? It is only drag and drop. I can only read the instructions and do. Now, initially, I was only able to do a one-page application. The moment I started delving into it, coming up with new solutions, meeting new problems, I see my application has 2 pages. Not only that, it has a lot of buttons which I have added. Now, for me, it is a leap, right? It is like a confidence booster. If I can do this in a span of 2 months, I can do miracles, right? I can be the second person or the third person who will be making food apps like Swiggy or Zomato, right? So this is again very important. It builds your confidence. And it is, the best part is how it builds your confidence, because you can see the result right in front of you. So it's nothing in the air. You did it and you did not do it. If you've done it, it's my confidence that is boosted. Great. Of course, storytelling skills. So whenever you are doing any application, or you're doing any, making a game, or you're doing any presentation using a coding skill. So there is a complete story telling skill that is developed. So if you observe, so today, everybody knows that if when you observe or when you use an application, there is a pattern we follow, right? Like for example, if I take a food, I love food, so I'm only taking examples of food applications. But yeah, see, if you take any food app, first thing I have to do is I have to make up my mind whether my choice will be based on the food item or based on the the restaurant I'm looking for. Then after that, I come to the menu. Then I see the prices. Then I see the number of dishes to be ordered. And last is when I'm convinced, I'm happy that yeah, I'm going to get a good spread for myself. Then I go to the payment gateway. So there is a complete pattern that is following. And this pattern is nothing but your storytelling skills, the person who has made this application, right? Okay, this is again a booster for every one of us, actually. To be very honest, we've been talking about it since when, that yeah, interdisciplinary teaching, mother teacher, there should be, nothing should be done exclusively. So as I said, as Sangeeta ma'am, Darshana ma'am also said, that computer and coding go hand in hand. And how? We have to be together. Not only that, how we can have these interdisciplinary approach to your science subjects, how it can have an impact on mathematics, how I can have some social study topics being done in coding. So these things have started evolving. We have started developing curriculum based on this interdisciplinary approach, where coding is not, you just go dance and come back. Even in dance, there are so much of elements of mathematics, elements of art, so many things are there. Right? So similarly, coding also has all these elements, right? So NEP is a blessing. It will definitely help us, and definitely it has spoken about the skills, because as rightly said, that nowadays in future, people are going to get skilled job. You will not get a job easily if you are a postgrad in some subject, but you are skilled in this particular skill, then you have a leverage. So coding helps you to build those skills, right? Yeah, that's again a very important slide. We all know it, and we are focusing on each and every block you can see. So what was before NEP, what is after NEP, and what is the benefit. So that very importantly, that's my favorite. There is hands-on learning. As I was talking to you about, you can see the result right in front. You can actually feel it. Once you've developed an app, you can actually have a hands-on learning. Share with your friend to get a feedback. So whatever you're doing on your own, learning is the best. So it keeps on telling us hands-on learning is very important. Criteria of removal of marks as a criteria. Again, skills, you cannot measure the skills, right? You can't say that, I got 8 out of 10 in critical thinking. On what basis? Where were you and where you have reached? So a child who is here and has become a better thinker has gone here. So for him, it's like an A plus. A child who is here has gone little bit. So for him, the child has got B plus. So you cannot just put in marks with the skills which coding is again helping you inculcate. Yeah, character formation, critical thinking, yeah, of course, technology based learning. So COVID has told that each one of us, even I when I speak to my parents who are old enough, they are also now attuned with it. So they are at par with the new Gen X. That is what we say. Like, my God, Daddy, you're sending, you're doing miracles. You're downloading, you're watching in shorts in YouTube, which means what? Which means they are also becoming attuned to the fact that yes, technology is important, right? And of course, our learning, our teaching, learning, pedagogy should also be a blended one, a mixed, right? As Sangeeta told, sometimes you can just give them a research to do, give the links, go find out and come back. So it's again a flipped classroom scenario where you do some bit of physical teaching, some bit of technology based teaching, and you come up with a good learning. Okay, and of course, as you know, that startup is the hour, is the call of the hour. Every person, and we've got so many opportunities. Actually, we are blessed that we have that opportunity to just become entrepreneurs at any point of time and think that, okay, if I was the owner of so and so company, how would I manage it? The first thing that comes in my mind is what, I should have the name of my company registered, and I should have a website. How do I make a website? How will my people come to know that there is this company who's going to start this, who's going to do this, this is the idea? How do I do it? If I know the art of coding, if I know HTML, if I know how to design my pages, and it all comes as a part of your coding learning skills, right? So before I, continue, so I would, want to show you three important videos. The first one, we are going to see how these two young boys are entrepreneurs, and the next two slides will have videos which are an example of how children create and how our children have gone 10 steps, or you can say 10 years ahead of us, right? So the first video talks about an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, very, very young, 17-year-old. And the other two slides or videos talk about the applications which a grade 8 and a grade 5 child has made, right? Why I'm showing you this, that because, it is achievable. Okay, nothing is in the air. It can be done. And it can be done by any person. It can be any person. You don't have to be stupendously good in mathematics or science. A person who has a bent for English, vocabulary strong, has the art of storytelling, can create, can ideate, can imagine, can also become coders. Okay, and that's exactly, if it is so easy for the children, for us as computer teachers, for you as already who has mastered this particular subject, it is just a piece of cake, right? I'll just play the videos one after the other.
Hi, I'm Shravan Kumaran and I'm 17 years old.
I'm Sanjay Kumaran and I'm 16 years old.
We both actually founded our own company. It's called Go Dimensions, which we started about 5 years back.
We've developed over 12 different applications for the iOS and Android stores and even for the Windows platform. And currently, we're even developing hardware devices to solve major problems.
We used to develop about 4 apps in a year, but now we are kind of developing like large scale apps. We took about 1 year for this recent app called Go Donate, but that's because we also had our exams coming up. In Central Asia itself, about 500 million tons of food is being wasted each year. We developed this app where people can actually share this kind of food which they have left over, and they can give it to their local charities. And this is not just for food, this can be done even for clothes, and this can be even done for furniture. So actually a lot of our apps, if you see, has a social impact on it.
And we've always believed that we must always do something for the society again.
So we're a dad-funded company. It's a term which we coined. So we go and pitch an idea to him. We tell him saying that, okay, we need this device for testing, and then he'll think about it, and then he'll accordingly give us money. We both actually are kind of like best friends. We don't fight a lot, in fact.
We agree on most of the things. generally, if we fight, it's most probably going to be about something like chocolates.
Before we're 30, actually, what we want to do is we want to have 50% of the world's smartphone users should have our apps running on their phone.
Okay. The next, so we've already, yeah, so we've already seen these two young entrepreneurs, how they have come with this idea, right? Have come up with this idea and did such a brilliant job in, implementing it. It's such a wonderful and such a thoughtful idea, right? That, there shouldn't be any wastage. And if it is there, if there is some extra, why not give it to people who need it? Look at the way they have thought, and they are only 17-year-old. And now they are 17-year-old. Maybe, when they had this inception, they're much younger. Correct? So we'll see this also. This is, I'll not name my student, but yeah, he's a grade 8 child. So we had a problem statement given to him saying that, you have to, of course, after learning the complete coding language Python, understanding the importance of AI and ML into it, how it works. So we've given them this idea, or not idea actually, we've given them this statement or problem statement that, you have to come up with an idea, with an application or a project wherein you're doing something for the society, right? Something you have to tell me, you have to come up with that. And this little boy, grade 8, means a 13-year-old, 12, 13-year-old, he came up with this brilliant smart farm application, wherein, what he told me when he was doing the presentation, what he said is, ma'am, I feel, farmers suffer, or farmers face a little brunt because they don't understand which crops to grow in their soil. They know the type of the soil they have. It's a black soil, it's a red soil, it's a loamy soil. They know that. But which crops are just right for their soil? I think there is some issue in that. And moreover, they can use that same patch of land for more types of crops. So I want to make something which will help the farmers. And that's how he came up with the idea of smart farm, wherein he talks about, what he does is he's talking about how, the farmer has to just give in details about the soil he has at his, he has it right in front of him, giving the pH balance, type of soil, color. And this application will give him a list of recommendations of crops which is best suited to be grown in that soil. Don't you think this idea is so brilliant? Like, I was blown, like, when he did this presentation, and believe me, it is so close to my heart, and I always talk about this. I always, wherever I'm talking, I always talk about this app, because a 13-year-old talking about the farmers of India, right? So he's done a lot of study. He's done a lot of collection of data, sorted using the Python language and AI ML tool. He's come up with this app. So I'll just, play it for you.
I get this form kind of thing known as soil analysis and it asks me a list of questions. So it first asks me the pH level of the soil ranging from 1 to 7. So suppose the pH level of my soil is 7. Nitrogen content, if it is 13 milligrams, phosphorus content is 67 milligrams, the calcium content is 98 milligrams, organic carbon is 34 milligrams, the particles per micrometer are 76, sorry, and the water holding capacity is 10 atm. And the soil type, you can enter 1 for clay, 2 for sandy, and 3 for loamy. So suppose the soil sap is loamy. After entering all my details, I can simply click on this analyze button. When I click on this, the page loads. You can see I get this form kind of thing known as soil analysis and it asks me a list of questions. So it first asks me the pH level of the soil ranging from 1 to 7. So suppose the pH level of my soil is 7. Nitrogen content, if it is 13 milligrams, phosphorus content is 67 milligrams, the calcium content is 98 milligrams, organic carbon is 34 milligrams, the particles per micrometer are 76, sorry, and the water holding capacity is 10 atm. And the soil type, you can enter 1 for clay, 2 for sandy, and 3 for loamy. So suppose the soil sap is loamy. After entering all my details, I can simply click on this analyze button. When I click on this, The page loads, and what I'm going to get next with the results. So now, as you can see, the analysis page over here has loaded. Precision agriculture recommendation. The goal of the recommender system is to recommend the crop to be planted. The type
Okay, great. So, before I move on to the next type of app, so if you can see, he had a complete, recommendation being given on not only what are the crops to be grown, but also how to store the crops. Like these are the common difficulties, common challenges which the farmer felt. And believe me, it's yes, of course, he's a brilliant coder. He's done a lot of, no, he's got a lot of knowledge. He's done a lot of skillful activities. He's done a lot of syntax, correcting syntax errors and come up with an application. But the thought is what I am completely blown off. It's like, thinking about the farmers of India and helping them out. There's a good news also, he's applied for a patent for his application and it is in process. So I am very, very happy and glad. And this all happens, in class. It happens in class. And when we as teacher are convinced that, yeah, all sitting in front of me are miracle boys. They can do it. They are all my miracle little angels. They can do it. And yes, they can do it. And this creativity, this thinking, this collaborative, attitude, this communicative, nature of children are all nothing but, all little droplets which I have gathered if I know how to code. Okay. This is another very realistic application, which again a grade 5 child, my student, has done. See, looking at the, you can see the get up of the app, it is very, very normal. The color combination, very normal. But this app does miracles, So what he said is, ma'am, I have always seen my mama thinking that what to gift. Whenever there is a birthday party, I get an invite, she starts thinking that what to gift. Now I have already given a set of books to this person last year. Now what to give him? I have already given a mouth organ to my to one of the friends. Now what to give? Now if it is dada's birthday or uncle's birthday, all the more problem, because we always know, like, no offense, but gifting a boy, not a boy, actually gifting a man becomes very difficult for us. So he said that, so for me, this is a problem statement. That's exactly his words were. So I have decided that I'm going to make an application which will solve my problem. And what he did is, he's gathered all information, okay, in his app. Like if you are gifting someone, so he comes with question like gender, next age, what is your budget? So if it is above 500, above 1000, so third thing, what is the type of the character or the type of person whom you are gifting? Is he an introvert? Is he an extrovert? Hobbies, the common hobbies, likes music, likes reading books or doing craft. So he's gathered all this information, all these information in the application. The moment you press it, that give me options, you have a list of app, gift options which are given. And not only that, he's put in links of your predominant e-commerce online sites where you will get it also. So this is again a grade 5 child, a 10 or an 11-year-old child. Look at the thought process, and it's all, don't you think you can actually relate the 4 C's, the 21st century skills here when I'm showing you these applications? Okay, I'll just play it. Let's hear it from him. So great. So we've been discussing, talking, again, not discussing. I've been telling you, yeah, importance of coding, how coding has helped, or how coding is nothing but a, tool to develop these 21st century skills. How we can not only have coding as an exclusive language, it is, of course, hand in hand with computer, and at the same time you have all the other subjects being a part of it, the interdisciplinary approach to learning a to learn coding, right? So these all salient points which we are talking about is completely, is absolutely there in our Codemaster book. Okay, it again gives you the same opportunity. It gives you the a plethora of exercises, galore of projects, wherein you can see the child thinking and coming up with a solution, where you can see the child sitting right under the, you can say, under the sky and imagining, because I have to finish this project, I have to do a project in coding, and it is a sight to behold. We've always been talking about, you have to be imaginative. We have spoken about English. We have to be, you have to know what happens where, history, civics, geography. We have to be quick in maths, a very quick-witted person. So you have to be scientifically bent, like, why it happens. But when you see all these aspects coming in together, when you see all these subjects reflecting in your child, when your child is just sitting in front of the mm, a computer and coding and application, that is where you feel that yes, coding is important. It is not only you can, I would use the word fad, where people say that, my child is going for coding classes, like but what is the net outcome of it? Is your child imagining more? Is your child creating something new? If yes, then very good. And it is completely on our shoulders as teachers, that we are convinced that yes, it will come up. Of course, you won't see the result in 2-3 months, that okay, as I said, my child couldn't think, now he has started thinking. My child couldn't do any creativity, now he's done, he's creative now. You can't say that. But of course, you're leading them to a path where you have those milestones there, that okay, wow, I have touched the milestone of creativity. Wow, I'm almost there. I'm trying to be thinking hard, right? So this is what is Codemaster all about. And we have encompassed all what I have spoken about, interdisciplinary teaching, 21st century skill, coding, projects, all in this particular book. And it would be it will be great when you have everything on the plate together. So Codemaster actually exemplifies all these things, right? Yeah, my key highlights, very importantly, again, expressive images. Like, it's not the cliche black screen and use code. So the book is also that. It has got expressive images. The QRs, most attractive bit of our book is the QRs. The videos what we are doing, what have been put in the books are so interesting that, the child will keep on thinking, when will my next video, when will I learn the concept, when my teacher will do this, and again I'll come back to the QR code. So this is very, very important. It keeps your children always on the toes, right? Easy to follow directions, very lucid and simple language. We haven't used jargons. Like when I'm talking about coding languages, I don't say Python, I don't say Scratch. I'm using very simple, like I speak in English. So there are languages which are taught to you so that you can communicate with your children. Perfectly structured, very, it's not a very voluptuous big book that okay, carrying it is a task. It's not like that. It's very easy to handle, a smart book, and it gives you a feeling of having or owning something really smart. Yeah, it's the same thing again, put in bullets, very importantly. Yeah, very, very it has been strategically made. The content is age appropriate, and the pedagogy, the teaching learning activities, the projects which are given, it's again age appropriate and very interesting. It's not, there is no repetitive thing, oh, I did this project again, another exercise on that. No, the children will not get an a winch of it, actually, right? Yeah. Again, the same thing. This is very important, and also I would like to mention that all those who are part of this code masters, they also go for a national competition that's called a coding bee competition. The way we have a spell bee, of course, they don't have to spell out languages, coding languages or codes, but here they have an application which they have to create and submit, and on a national scale, on a national level with the industry experts, they do a complete presentation, and that's how the crown is got. So it's an excellent exposure and a platform for children, right?
Reema, can you explain us a little bit about what is a QR enabled book that you're talking about in coding?
Yeah. So as we all were discussing about technology, we were talking about flipped classrooms. When you have the whole thing in a book itself. So you have a content. Say, for example, you're talking about loops. Again, I'm sorry to, but we are all computer teachers. We know it, right? So if I'm talking about loops, okay, and there are different types of loop. Okay, so if I only give a content about loops and talk about the different type loops, it becomes a little monotonous for the child. So what we've done it with the concept, with different, we have bifurcated into some, we call it as vlogs because it is video based blogs. So we have this QR there. Once you scan that QR, you come to an video which talks about the different types of loops. So what I did is I did my concept clearing, and now I can see where can it be applied, what are the different types, what are the different applications that can be made with the help of loops. So this is how the QR enabled Codemaster works.
Okay, so now there is no restriction on learning. It is anytime, anywhere. And it is of whatever I've heard of you, and even what Sheetal was speaking in the first segment, that there is now it is a time that coding has to and will come in the mainstream classroom teaching. It's no more going to restrict itself to after school classes or activity based, because this is the need of tomorrow. If we are like you have diamonds, children are diamonds, and we're chiseling them and preparing them for the future. And this is the first step that we need to enhance ourselves, adapt to the new learning method, and not only restrict ourselves to the knowledge, but also teach the children to apply this knowledge.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to create the future of tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming and helping us out, and giving us this insight on coding. And signing off with Reema. Reema promised to come back again for many more sessions.
Definitely.
And what a beautiful segment. Today we had two different segments, one on computer, one on coding. And as I said, two sisters. So brilliant session again, and signing off today with Reema Deshkar. And first half we had Sheetal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for giving the opportunity to talk about the most important thing, and that is coding, the call of the hour.
Thank you.